There's something different about you lately. People are responding to you differently. Some have drifted away. Others have started watching you quietly. Conversations have shifted in tone. Places that once felt comfortable now feel heavy. And you might be asking yourself, what's going on? This message is for you, the one who senses that something invisible has shifted around you. Because it has. When your emotional frequency begins to rise, when your awareness starts to expand, when you stop accepting emotional crumbs and start pursuing purpose, the atmosphere around you rearranges itself. Not everyone can keep up. Most people live on autopilot, reacting, complaining, repeating the same cycles. But when you begin to question, when you quiet the external noise and actually listen to your own intuition, you become unpredictable to the system. And the system doesn't like unpredictable. Perhaps you've started saying no where you used to say yes. Maybe you've stopped over-explaining yourself. Maybe you've pulled back from certain people. Maybe you've been seeking God more in the quiet, even when it feels like He isn't answering. And that's precisely where everything begins to shift. The Bible says in Epistle to the Romans 12:2, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Renewal of the mind is a shift in frequency. It's stepping out of the old pattern. And when you do that, you become a silent threat to everything that depended on the former version of you. Have you noticed that the more you grow, the fewer people remain? That isn't loss. It's filtering. When God begins to work in you, He often starts by removing distractions. In Gospel of John 15:2, it says that every branch that bears fruit is pruned so that it will be even more fruitful. Pruning hurts. It feels like loss, but it's preparation. Maybe the silence you're feeling isn't abandonment. Maybe it's training. Because when God intends to lift you, He often separates you first. And separation reveals what noise used to hide. It exposes emotional dependencies. It brings fears to the surface. It shows you where you were still seeking approval. It reveals where you were still stuck. This is where many people give up. Because spiritual growth isn't comfortable. Raising your frequency isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about facing your inner shadows and deciding you will no longer be ruled by them. You begin to notice toxic patterns. You feel uneasy in environments that once felt normal. You start to see manipulation where you once saw just the way things are. And that changes your posture. And when your posture changes, the reactions around you change too. Some will say you've changed, and you have. But the real question is, have you changed for the worse, or have you simply stopped accepting less than you deserve? There is something powerful happening when you choose to elevate your emotional vibration. Your thoughts begin to align with purpose. Your words become more intentional. Your habits start reflecting discipline, and that creates a different atmosphere around you. The law of sowing and reaping still stands. In Epistle to the Galatians 6:7 it says, "A man reaps what he sows." When you begin sowing higher thoughts, firmer boundaries, more conscious decisions, the harvest inevitably changes. But before the harvest comes resistance. Every spiritual transition is tested. You may be facing opposition not because you're on the wrong path, but because you're on the right one. You may feel lonely not because you've been forgotten, but because you're being prepared. The system prefers you distracted, exhausted, emotionally reactive. But when you learn to govern your emotions, when you choose silence before reaction, when you respond with maturity instead of impulse, you step outside the invisible control that once held you. And that is dangerous to anyone who benefited from your immaturity. Have you noticed how some people seem unsettled when you're at peace? How they try to provoke you, test you, prod you? It's not a coincidence. Your peace exposes their inner chaos. Your discipline exposes their lack of direction. Your pursuit of God exposes the emptiness they try to fill with noise and distraction. And the more you grow, the clearer it becomes that not everyone can walk beside you. Here's the crucial point. Do not shrink yourself to fit spaces you've already outgrown. Perhaps you've been praying and hearing only silence. Perhaps you've been looking for signs and finding only waiting. But God's silence is never absence. Often, it's invisible construction. In Book of Isaiah 40:31, it says that those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Waiting isn't doing nothing. It's strengthening your roots where no one can see. You are not behind. You are being aligned. There is a difference between being alone and being set apart. Separation is divine strategy. It's when God pulls you back temporarily to position you correctly. Because when the next door opens, you won't be able to walk through it with your old mindset. Perhaps you're feeling an inner urgency, a sense that something greater is ahead, a discomfort with ordinary living, a restlessness that won't let you settle. That isn't ordinary anxiety. It may be calling. Those who are chosen often pass through seasons of misunderstanding, seasons where no one understands their decisions, seasons where even they question themselves. Yet deep down, there's a quiet conviction. You cannot go back to who you were. And that's unsettling, because growth demands that you let go of previous versions of yourself. But here's what few people say. The closer you move towards purpose, the more intense the emotional tests become. Situations arise to verify whether you've truly changed. People reappear to see if you still accept the bare minimum. Opportunities come to measure your discipline. It isn't punishment, it's confirmation. You asked for growth, and growth requires emotional structure. Maybe you've noticed you no longer react the way you used to. You don't feel the need to prove yourself. Silence has become more powerful than argument. External validation has lost its grip. That is spiritual maturity, and spiritual maturity shifts your energetic field. You begin attracting different conversations, different people, different opportunities, because frequency recognizes frequency. But be aware, not every departure is a loss. Sometimes it's protection. You cannot ascend while carrying everything that made sense at the previous level. And now comes the decisive moment. Will you continue to elevate your frequency or lower it so that others feel more comfortable? Because yes, your light unsettles people. Your discipline unsettles people. Your faith unsettles people. Your peace unsettles people. But remember this, you were not called to be comfortable. You were called to be transformed. If you sense that something has shifted around you, it may be because something has shifted within you. And when internal change begins, the external world inevitably rearranges itself. Perhaps you are entering the season where God removes noise to amplify direction, where shallow connections fade and deeper ones begin to form, where silence is not emptiness, but preparation. And when the next season unfolds, you'll understand why certain doors had to close. Now I want to hear from you. Have you felt people distancing themselves since you began to change? Have you sensed a call towards something greater? Write in the comments, I am raising my frequency. I want to read your testimony. If this message spoke directly to you, leave a like so it can reach others going through the same silent process. Subscribe to Frequency of Emotional, because here we talk about real growth, spiritual transformation, and the journey of the chosen, without pretense. And share this with someone who needs to understand that the distancing they're experiencing may not be rejection. It may be promotion, because when you change your frequency, your world will never remain the same.